The AVCA Volleyball All-American teams released yesterday. Not surprisingly, a bunch of Big Ten players making the list, with 5 first-teamers, including 3 from Nebraska: Andy Jackson, Harper Murray, Bergen Riley. Wisconsin's Mimi Collier in that group, as was Penn State's Kennedy Martin. 4 others made the second team, and 3 made the third team, including Carter Booth, who will help lead Wisconsin in its Final Four battle with Kentucky tonight. And speaking of that, we are now joined by Cameron Irwin, who is covering the Final Four for us, not just the host of Big Ten Tailgate, but also an accomplished volleyball player herself at Oregon and Washington State. So, Cameron, let's dive into this Final Four. And I guess I'd ask you to put your analyst and your former player hat on first. We all know about Nebraska being knocked out. Obviously, Texas knocked out as well by Wisconsin. Is there a clear-cut favorite here in your mind?
Yeah, Dave, that's a great question. I think what makes this group in the Final Four so intriguing is the fact that you have 2 teams that have never even made it to a national championship matchup. But then on the other side, meeting this evening, of course, you're going to get a chance to see Kentucky facing off against Wisconsin. Both of those teams are the only 2 teams, and they only have 1 title to their name. So in terms of championship experience, I think that's what's really leveling the playing field, and it really feels like it could be anyone's title this year.
Let's take a look at Wisconsin's point of view here. And Texas had been such a thorn in their side. It was such a huge win for them to beat the Longhorns and to do it in Austin. So now that they've done that, now that they've kind of slayed this dragon, how do they put it behind them and focus on the task at hand?
Yeah, I'm not so sure it's about refocusing more so than just building confidence. This was a team that really had been a thorn in their side. 4 straight meetings that the Badgers had taken a loss to the Longhorns, and to be able to get over that hurdle, and especially considering they were swept even earlier this season. It was a 3-0, and Wisconsin has truly been able to build upon. Now, they have had some injuries throughout the season that they've dealt with, and really finding their offensive rhythm late into this season. But I think really it's the magnitude of that win that has set them up for this long time run.
You talk about how well they're playing late in the season here. They went through a stretch where they lost 3 of 7 matches. That was a sequence that ended at Halloween. And since then, they have not lost. And in fact, they've only dropped 4 sets since then. So to what do you attribute this hot streak, or, the fact that they're playing their best volleyball here at the right time?
Well, if you've been following Wisconsin volleyball, there's one person that you surely fall in love with, and that is their setter. She truly sets the tone, Charlie Furbringer. And there was a stretch, she was out for about 9 matches dealing with a shoulder injury, and that was that stint where they lost 3 of the 7. Also important to note, those 3 losses were all to ranked teams. You take a look at it. USC was one of those losses, a very strong team in the Big Ten, and not to mention Penn State as well as Nebraska. So the 3 losses, you go somewhat understandable. Now, ever since they've got Charlie Furbringer back, it truly has been just next level volleyball. They have not lost a match since bringing her back. And I also want to give a nice shout out to Addie Horner, who filled in for her. She was a true freshman, or is a true freshman, and she did so flawlessly. She's somebody that they were looking at more so to be an attacker, and she steps in as a true freshman and runs the offense in lieu of Charlie Furbringer throughout this season. So they're just finally getting all these pieces put back together, Dave.
Yeah, Furbringer's been great, leading the nation in assists per set coming in. What about Kentucky? Give us a sense for what we need to know about the Wildcats.
They are a 2-headed dragon. You got to watch out for their outsides, 2 of the best in the game. You've got Ava Hudson as well as Brooklyn DeLay. And these 2, what makes them so dangerous is that they're so disciplined. They don't make a ton of errors. And one of the other aspects of the game is they like to attack out of the back row, especially Hudson. This is going to put a strain on Wisconsin for the fact that she doesn't just attack on the outside. Wisconsin is going to have to pay attention from their left side block as well as middle block towards that right side of the court. They cannot just release to the pin. That is why the 2-headed dragon is so dangerous, and Kentucky has just been a juggernaut this season because of the play of those 2 outside hitters.
Well, Hudson is a familiar name, obviously, to Big Ten fans. She's a former Big Ten Freshman of the Year. She transferred from Purdue. Does familiarity help at all there, kind of knowing her and having watched her and played against her in the Big Ten? Does that help them with preparation in any way?
Yeah, from a scouting report, maybe you have a better sense of what she's capable of doing. But one of the interesting aspects is it is more of a load share management between those two outside hitters. So you're not able just to key off on Hudson. Another interesting note is when Hudson was at Purdue, her career high best match came against none other than Wisconsin. It was 30 total kills. However, those numbers are a little bit lower this season, again, because she does not have to carry as much of the offensive load. So I think there is familiarity. However, this is a different beast and a completely different offensive system for Kentucky.
From Wisconsin's point of view, we talked about Furbringer and how great she's been and how she's kind of launched them on this hot streak here. What about Carter Booth and Mimi Collier, the two real superstars? We were looking at the All-American teams. Those are the names on the All-American teams from Wisconsin. What do they need to bring tonight for the Badgers to move on?
Oh man, Dave, I'm just smiling ear to ear because I think about these two athletes and the level at which they're playing. It gives me goosebumps. And I would kill to just be back in a matchup like that, watching them compete. You've seen the energy, you've seen the joy from Carter Booth and what she's been able to do, but she's also showing up and she's executing. You look at both Collier as well as on the outside, Una Vajagic. Una Vajagic could very well be the X factor when you consider she's hitting over 100 points higher on her efficiency than she has on her yearly average. Carter Booth also in that same category. She's hitting over 500 in the tournament so far. I mean, the whipping arm, the 6'7" frame, watching Carter Booth just compete is one of the things that volleyball fans around the country will fall in love with time and time again. And Mimi Collier is just so tough to stop. When you watch her swing, she's got a double block dedicated in front of her. She's a little bit like JJ Watt. You just got to throw all the blockers her direction, and she still comes away with a point. Just great range. And tonight she's going to be challenged as Kentucky is going to send everything they can her direction.
Last thing I want to ask you, the coaches are really interesting to me because these guys go back a long way, Kelly Sheffield and Craig Skinner. I mean, it's amazing. They coached 8th grade and high school JV together in Muncie, Indiana. I mean, you think about their path going from that to now squaring off in the Final Four. What have they said about the familiarity and about this coaching matchup and the significance to the two of them?
Yes, this is the ultimate frenemies matchup tonight, right? Those two guys, longtime friends. They actually, importantly, too, back in 1980, they went undefeated coaching that JV team. Important to know. And they also coached alongside the legendary and the Hall of Fame coach, Don Shondell. And that name may sound familiar, of course, when you think of Dave Shondell over at Purdue. That is his legendary father. But these two have just so much mutual respect. I imagine this is a matchup that they've been waiting for. These two haven't seen each other since 2022 in terms of a matchup against one another, but they've never played each other in the postseason. There was a near miss back in 2020 when they were both in the Final Four. Of course, Kentucky went on to win the national title that year, but they were not able to find each other in the championship matchup. So this is one that you can guarantee they've had circled on their calendar.
That's crazy with all the success through the years that this is the first time they will have squared off in the postseason. Again, the winner gets the winner of Pitt and Texas A&M in the final. Cameron, this was great. Really good primer here. So excited for this match tonight and appreciate you taking the time to get us set for what should be a fabulous showdown. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the volleyball tonight.
Thanks, Dave.